Hey, Mike. Brother, how are you?
You've never smoked pot, have you?
I have not.
No, I'm just going to say I'm not surprised there. But here we are on 420. So we're going to light this one up, buddy.
I wanted to go on the record that you are the one who chose this topic.
Look, 420 is part of the very fabric of our culture today, even if that fabric smells faintly of smoke.
Okay, so let's get into this. 420 is marked on April 20th, the day that we are releasing this episode, a day that many people use and celebrate and enjoy cannabis.
It started, as you may imagine, in the 1970s. In 1971, 5 high school students in San Rafael, California, named Steve Kappa, Dave Reddix, Jeffrey Knoll, Larry Schwartz, and Mark Gravich, first coined the term.
The group, which called themselves the Waldos, because of course they did, heard a rumor of an abandoned marijuana crop in the area based on a found treasure map drawn by the grower.
420 was the code name of their search operation. The Waldos designated the Louis Pasteur statue on the grounds of San Rafael High School as their meeting place, and at 4:20 p.m. as their meeting time. The Waldos referred to this plan with the phrase 420 Louis.
I'm just going to say, as far as code names go, I'm actually not sure this is a good one. Like, it sounds cool, but it has the location and the time of their meeting right in the name. It's not secretive. It's not secure.
It's actually not a code name. It's a descriptive name. There is no code. There's no code there. You've removed the code. It's like, it's our code name is find the marijuana plot. Like, that's the code name of our mission. The Waldos carried out several failed attempts to find the crop, and the group eventually shortened the phrase to simply 420, which evolved into the code word for getting blazed.
Is, quote, getting blazed still used today? I don't think we have the street cred to talk about this.
Do people say street cred?
That's a good point.
Indeed. The term would have probably just died out had it not been for the writing of Stephen Hager in the magazine High Times. Can you guess what this magazine is focused on? Hager was hired as the editor in 1988 and rid the publication of references to hardcore drug use, focusing on personal marijuana use.
He also created the Cannabis Cup, a cannabis awards ceremony held every Thanksgiving in Amsterdam, and the Freedom Fighters, the first hemp legalization group.
In an article titled Stoner Smart or Stoner Stupid, he wrote about the term 420 and attributed the early spread of the phrase to Grateful Dead followers. As it turns out, one of the Waldos, Dave Reddix, actually became a roadie for the Dead's bassist, Phil Lesh. Reddix and Hager called for 4:20 p.m. to be the socially accepted hour of the day to consume cannabis. We're really like, once it was a day, now it's every day. That's what I like the most about this.
Mm-hmm. I love how organically this spread. So it's just a joke between high school buddies, right? I'm sure everyone can relate to that. Or you had something stupid you said with your friends in high school, but now it's a thing we're talking about on a podcast 48 years later.
Well, this is the history that they would want you to believe. Hager has been criticized for squashing other origin stories of the phrase, with some saying his devotion to this version of the story as mind-boggling and even cult-like.
Hashtag drama.
I'm so excited about our sponsor today because this was a complete and utter coincidence. Today's episode of Ungenius is brought to you by Backblaze.
Perfect.
The unlimited cloud backup for Macs and PCs that starts at just $6 a month. Look, you might be in a situation where you're a bit forgetful, or you might be in a situation where you're not really paying attention. Who knows why? And you may accidentally delete your entire hard drive. Look, things happen to people. And if you do that, can you imagine how upset you would be the next day when you wake up and realize that you deleted your entire hard drive because you wasn't paying attention when using your computer? You want to have Backblaze or something like that. Now, personally, I have destroyed computers a couple of times, liquid-based destruction. And I have been happy to know that Backblaze has been securing all of my files for me, so I don't have to worry about it. Backblaze backs up documents, music, photos, videos, drawings, projects, everything that's important to you. And they have backed up 750 petabytes of data and counting. And they have restored over 35 billion files. That is so many saved projects, assignments, and family photo albums. They know what they're doing. You can get peace of mind that your files will be backed up in the cloud because if you use Backblaze, it will be. Avoid that looming data disaster by going to backblaze.com/ungeniused for your unrestricted free trial and to let them know that you heard about them on this show. That is backblaze.com/ungeniused. Go there right now. Thank you to Backblaze for saving us from countless data disasters and for their support of this show and Relay FM.
So from its humble beginnings, 420 is now an internationally celebrated countercultural holiday where people gather to celebrate and consume cannabis and related products. Of course, over the years, many such events have picked up a political nature to them, advocating for things like the legalization of the drug and its offshoots.
That day, many people partake in civil disobedience, smoking in public at 4:20 p.m. on April 20th.
It's just 420 all the way down.
Yep. Well, that's it, right? Like, that's it. It's the perfect time. Everything's aligned.
You can only remember one number, really just go all in. Of course, in many countries and some states here in the U.S., marijuana and cannabis-based products are legal. So what happens to activism in those areas?
This is fun. Steve D'Angelo, cannabis activist and founder of California's Harborside Health Center, notes that even if our activist work were complete, 420 morphs from a statement of conscience to a celebration of acceptance, a celebration of victory, a celebration of our amazing connection with this plant. And he thinks that it will always be worthy of celebration.
Party on, man. Party on.
I wonder under what state he wrote that. It's really like very emotional. I like it. 420's impact is felt in some unusual ways as well. Using 25 years of U.S. national data, one study found a 12% increase in the risk of fatal motor vehicle crash between 4:20 p.m. and midnight on April 20th compared to identical time intervals on control days. Among the subgroup of drivers less than 21 years of age, risks are 38% higher on April 20th than on control days. Look, if you're going to do it, that's great, man. You just enjoy yourself. Don't drive. It's like drinking and driving.
Take a lift.
Don't smoke and drive. Like you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's really like a genuinely upsetting number of stats there.
Yeah, that is a like scientifically significant number, right? Like that is there are huge variances. But there's also vandalism. Signs bearing the number 420 have been frequently stolen. In Colorado, the Colorado Department of Transportation replaced the mile marker 420 sign on the I-70 east of Denver with one reading 419.99 in an attempt to stop the thievery.
That's so good.
I have more of these.
So good.
I have more. The Idaho Department of Transportation replaced the mile 420 marker sign on U.S. Highway 95 just south of codename with mile marker 419.9 in Goodhue County, Minnesota. Officials have changed 420 street signs to 42X Street, which is weird. I will say, see, this is the thing about this. These signs are more desirable to me now than the 420 ones. I want a 419.99 mile marker.
I've been to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and honestly, I can totally see that happening there.
I live in Europe. Let's talk about Europe. Obviously, everybody knows about Amsterdam. We don't need to get into that today. But the country dial code of Czech Republic is 420. And the rate of cannabis use there is one of the highest in the world, with some foreign visitors thinking that cannabis is legal in this Central European country. It is not.
I was a spoiler alert, not accurate. To the surprise of many, smoking cannabis outside will earn you a fine, and possessing more than 10 grams of marijuana is considered a crime.
Well, like saying about that, like you're not actually really supposed to smoke in public in Amsterdam. Like you have to do it within confined areas. Again, something that tourists fall into that trap quite a lot, I think. In 2016, Snoop Dogg displayed his knowledge of marijuana on the game show The $100,000 Pyramid. Snoop replied without delay that the country code for the Czech Republic is 420. If anyone's gonna know, it's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. 420 shows up in legal documents from time to time. In 2003, California Senate Bill 420 was introduced to regulate medical marijuana use.
Yes. Come on, that's so good, right? If you're going to do it. Like you can imagine, they're just waiting. 418, 419, now!
Do it. In 2010, a similar bill was raised in Guam called Bill 420, but that bill ultimately failed.
Following the success of Washington, D.C.'s Initiative 71 to legalize cannabis in 2014, Mayor Muriel Bowser granted license plate number 420 to the campaign's leader, Adam Eidinger.
That's a goodwill gesture from the government. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
So if you want to learn more about 420 or this, like, we didn't even get into it, like the weirdness that is the high times and some of this other stuff, there's some links in the show notes over on the website, relay.fm/ungeniused/77. While you're there, you can get in touch. You could drop us an email with a link to your favorite Wikipedia topic and it will go on the list. Or you can do so over on Twitter. The show is at Ungeniused. You can find Mike there as IMYKE. And you can find me there as ISMH. And until we find our next marijuana-themed treasure map, Mike, say goodbye.
I think you might regret giving me this, but as we ramp up to our June 9th episode, goodbye.
Adios.